Hello all, good afternoon. So, in continuing our sessions regarding understanding Vedanta, so we are now at session 7. So, so far what we have discussed. So we have discussed what Vedas are, what is Vedanta. Then now we are discussing about the qualities or qualifications to pursue Vedanta, right? So from past couple of sessions, we are looking at the qualifications or qualities that one needs to pursue Vedanta. So we are looking at these things at past sessions, couple of sessions. So today also we will be almost closing this section. So, what are the challenges and favorable factors for pursuing Vedanta? So, what we had discussed in our earlier sessions, we would need Brahma Jigyasa, right? So, Brahma Jigyasa meaning we will be having what you say, a spirit of inquiry into the nature of our existence, into understanding the God or the Brahman, we say, right? So, we have that Jigyasa. So in that section, we had discussed what we already know about the universe, right? And what we know about our own self. So that those things which we already know, we had discussed. Then also we had discussed what are the questions that a typical jigyasu can have. So those questions also we had discussed in our earlier sections. Then the second favorable factor is the Vairagya Bhava, right? So one should have detachment or dispassion towards our current existence, so that we will progress into what you say to a place where we will not be needing to be born again, right? So if we want to not to be born again, then we should certainly have dispassion towards this life. And since Vedanta gives this information of what you say, not being able to born, right? So it helps us to gain what you say, moksha or enlightenment, right? So that's why a certain degree of Vairagya Bhava is also needed. Then we require mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam meaning uh, a burning desire to be liberated from this continuous cycle of birth and death, right? So when we have Vairagya Bhava, similarly Mumukshutvam also follows. Then the last point is about the Viveka. We need Viveka to at least understand what is real and unreal, to at least have certain degree of intellect to know that what you say, that there is a higher entity operating this world, we can say a god, right? So if we should have at least that much intellect, that this world is just not a random thing, it is under the governance of the great lords or the gods. So that viveka one should have. So regarding this, when we were discussing regarding these points, we were at the vairagya bhava, right? So what we had discussed about the Vairagya Bhava, we were discussing about Lord Rama's thoughts on our existence, right? So Lord Rama, during his period, he was also filled with Vairagya Bhava, right? So understanding what goes into Lord Rama's thoughts, right? We also can learn from it. So we also can at least understand why we should have Vairagya Bhava, right? So when an entity like Lord Rama, who is Paramatma itself, right, who is talking about our existence and about this life, right? So from his thoughts, we also can gain a lot of things, right? So that's why I chose to taking this example, this story of Lord Rama, where he is talking through his thoughts and asking questions to sage Vashishta, right? So so during those conversations, I have listed out, say, 9 points where Lord Rama is talking about different things about the transient or changing objects of the world, regarding wealth in this world, regarding the lifespan, regarding egotism, regarding our restless mind, regarding the pitiable body, right? Regarding our childhood, regarding youth and time. So all these factors we were discussing, right? So I think in the last session we had discussed until the youth. So until the point 8 we had discussed, and we have seen that how these all these factors are not desirable, right? So the youth is not desirable, ego is not desirable, wealth is not desirable in this world. So these things we have to understand. Now we will see the last point. It is the time, right? So what Lord Rama is talking about time. So what Lord Rama is saying, all hopes of a man in this world are consistently destroyed by time, right? So time is consistently is capable of destroying all the hopes of a man. So we may plan what we are going to do tomorrow, what we are going to do next year, right, in a coming month, but all our plans and hopes are have all our plans and hopes can be shattered by the time, right? We may have so many plans, but what actually can happen tomorrow, we never know. So all these hopes, the time has the potential to destroy, is what Lord Rama is saying. Time alone wears everything out in this world. So not so when so there are so many things that wears out, but time is superior to it. It never wears out, right? As long as there is existence, the time factor is also there, right? So there is nothing in creation which is beyond its reach. So everything in this creation is within and bound with time, right? So nothing can exist for eternity. So there is always a time. Our lifespan also has a time, right? So that way, good experiences, bad experiences, everything wears out by the what you call time, right? So time alone is superior, right? Time is merciless, time is cruel, time is greedy and insatiable. So, time is merciless. Why merciless? Because it doesn't care what you are doing. Today you are having some plan, it doesn't matter it's good or bad. Tomorrow you never know whether it will be executed or not. You can plan and hope for everything, but when the time arrives, whenever time arrives, it mercilessly takes away or everything that we have achieved or and everything that we have lost. It doesn't matter. The time mercilessly has the power to destroy everything. That's why it is said to be cruel and greedy. Why greedy? Because time alone thinks about itself. So it doesn't care like what other person is having plans or what he is doing, right? So when the time arrives, everything has to submit to the time. Time is the greatest magician, full of deceptive tricks. Time cannot be analyzed, for however much it is divided, it still survives and indestructible. So, if you want to destroy time, how you will destroy time? By limiting it. So, by you limit the time to seconds, to nanoseconds and microseconds, and further the time remains. So, we cannot destroy this time, right? It is indestructible. So time has an insatiable appetite for everything. It consumes the smallest insects, the biggest mountains, and even the kings of heaven. So time doesn't, what you say, wait for anyone. So if it doesn't matter if it is an insect or a king or a mountain, right? When the time arrives, one has to leave everything. So it has insatiable appetite for everything. So it has no mercy and it will wait for none, right? So such is the state of time. In this world, there is nothing high or low that time does not destroy, right? So time is capable of destroying everything. Even when all these are destroyed, time is not destroyed. So even all whatever we have achieved through all our lifetimes, right? Even after all these are destroyed, also still time will remain. So time cannot be destroyed. So thus Lord Rama, by all these 9 points, right, in all these with all those thoughts, he is putting questions to Vashishta and filled with dispassion, right, and detachment. Lord Rama is asking Vashishta. So what Lord Rama is asking? O Lord, I am filled with grief. My mind is confused. I shudder, and at every step I am afraid. Lord Rama is saying he is filled with grief and he is afraid. Why? Because so many factors that we discussed. We do not have control over time. We do not have control over the events that are going to happen, right? Yet we are planning and plotting and living our life selfishly, right? So that's why Lord Rama is confused. So how to live in this world? So he is in grief, right? And he is also afraid. So Lord Rama is asking Vashishta, None of the objects in this world is meant to give happiness. So Lord Rama is saying, nor the wealth is going to give us happiness, nor the youth is going to give us happiness. So why? We had discussed in our earlier sections, right? So what Lord Rama thinks about wealth, what Lord Rama thinks about youth, what Lord Rama thinks about childhood. So we think that these things will give us happiness, but in reality, these also do not have the power to give us happiness. Only he is happy who is free of egotism and who is not swayed by craving for sense pleasure. So to whom Lord Rama considered as free, Lord Rama considers as free is one who is free of egotism. So one who is free, one who does not have an ego, right? And who does not have a craving for sense pleasure. So such a person Lord Rama considers as a free person. Otherwise, a person who is dwell into the ego, right, and who is having lot of craving for sense pleasures, right. So Lord Rama considers himself considers such a person as a slave only, right. So one who doesn't have self control, right, who is always what you say communicating with ego or having sense pleasure. So such a person is considered as a slave, right. But who is free of these two things is actually must be considered as free. I do not regard that as a gain which is soon lost. So, what is gain? So we think that we have gained so much things in our life, right? But what Lord Rama is saying, right? The actual gain, what he considers as a gain is which is not lost. But if you see in our life, whatever we are achieving or gaining through all these life, right, of our tenure, right, it is going to be lost, right? So when our death arrives or when our time is done, we have to live everything of whatever we have achieved, right? So whatever gain we have got, how can we consider it as a gain when we are going to lose it anyway? So such a gain is not to be considered as an actual gain, is what Lord Rama is saying. So we have to focus on such a gain which cannot be lost. So once we have achieved something, it has to stay with us forever, right? So such a thing is to be considered as gain, right? Only that is gain which is not lost, and there is no such gain available to man in this world. So that's what Lord Rama is saying. There is no such gain available to this man in the world, because whatever he will achieve, he has to succumb to the what you say to death or to the time. So hence Lord Rama says, "Hey, pray tell me, what is that condition or state in which one does not experience grief?" So tell me, Lord Vashishta, if I want to say stay happy forever, not in a temporary way, not 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 gaining happiness by small in this temporary world, but what condition or state that I have to achieve, which in which there is no temporariness, in which there is no grief, right? When in which I will get established in happiness. So what is that condition? Pray tell me, Lord Vashishta. Is Lord Ram is what Lord Rama is asking. Pray tell me, how do you people who are enlightened live in this world? So Lord Rama is saying, Lord Vashishta, please tell me, you are an enlightened being. Please tell me how you guys, how you are all living in this world. When you know that this world is temporary, when you know that this world is filled with sense pleasures, when you know that this world is filled with egotism, is filled with grief and also greed. So how you are living in this world, how you enlightened beings are living in this world. So please tell me. So Lord Rama further asks, the biography of which great one shall we study in order to learn the path of wisdom? You are an enlightened being. Instruct me so that I may never again be sunk into grief. So which biography should I study? So please tell me. So Lord Rama is, you can say, Mumukshuttam, right? So a desire to get out of this temporary world, right? So Lord Rama is desperate. He's asking, what biography should I read? So please enlighten me. So I am sunk in grief, is Lord Rama is saying. So we have to understand that it is all a Leela of the Lord, right? So Lord Rama is Paramatma itself. By giving by living such life, right, it will be an example for us, right? So that's why Lord Rama takes, or Lord Vishnu takes avatara to help us understand. It is not that Lord Rama is sunk in grief or he does not know the wisdom or something like that, right? So he knows everything, but it is his Leela that he comes into this world to help us understand. So what this world is. So that we have to keep in mind, right? So in this Leela, Lord Rama is just showing us to show us the right path, right? So all this Leela will be done. So next point, how should one live here so as to not fall a victim to twin currents of love and hate? So this world, right, it is filled with, you see, what you say, twin currents of love and hate. Everything or will come in twin. You cannot ask only one. You cannot say that I want to be only happy. So when you choose happiness, you should know that at some point there is also sadness involved, right, in this world. So only one way doesn't work in this world, right? So how can we not fall victim to such twin currents of love and hate? Is Lord Rama asking. What is the secret that counteracts the habit of the mind that is spread out in the form of this universe? So how can we counteract the habit of the mind? So mind is always want to spread out in the universe, right? So how can we counteract this habit? How can we control our mind, right? Our restless mind, is Lord Rama asking. Lord Rama further says, who are those heroes who have freed themselves from this delusion? And what method did they adopt to free themselves? So Lord Rama is asking, who are these heroes who have freed themselves? So please tell me, if I do not get established in wisdom now, when shall another opportunity arise to me? So Lord Rama is asking, please tell me now. I don't know when this opportunity will arise. So now you are an enlightened being. So please enlighten me. I do not know when another opportunity will come to me. For indulgence in sense pleasures poisons the mind in such a way that its effects last several lifetimes, right? So that's why we call it as sanskara, right? So once it's not that you uh, get into sense pleasure now and you are done with it, right? So it is always will stay in your mind as a seed, right? So the seed, when in its own environment, again it will sprout, right? So such a poison it is. So we have to be very careful about our indulgences, right? So once we experience that also, it will still stay in our mind as a seed, right? And when that seed has its own environment, it will start to sprout. So we should be make sure that we should not plant such poisonous seeds in our mind, right? Only a man of self-knowledge is free from this. So who is free from all these sense pleasures, craving, attachment, egotism is a man of self-knowledge. So how to gain that self-knowledge? This self-knowledge is about our own self. So in the Vedanta talks about this self-knowledge. So once you gain this self-knowledge, you will be free from all these, right? If you consider that I am neither fit nor capable of understanding this, I shall fast unto that. So Lord Rama is very clear now. So Lord Rama is asking, you have to tell me, Lord Vashishta, Sage Vashishta, if you think that I am unfit, then I will fast unto that. You have to tell me. So Lord Rama is asking desperately to Vashishta. Right? So this is one short, what you say, story you can say about the thoughts what Lord Rama is experiencing, and you can also refer to this book, right, the Supreme Yoga, Lord Vashishta, wherein you can also find answers. So how Lord Vashishta answers Lord Rama and how he establishes Lord Rama in wisdom, right? So those things also, if you are interested, you can go through the books, right? Anyway, the Vedanta that we are having, we will be also talking about those things. So to summarize the Vairagya Bhava, why Lord Rama or anyone should have some Vairagya Bhava is because this life is temporary. Our experiences are temporary, right? So we cannot say that we have gained something in this temporary life, right? So because it is going to end one day. So such experiences we should not be overjoyed. We have to live but not be overjoyed with it, right? And all the experience that we are having are dual experience. It is not that we are established in happiness all the time. So you cannot say that a person is happy all the time. So when there is happiness, there is also sadness. So this dual experiences also is not desirable. So we have to only desire a permanent happiness, not this dual experiences, right? And all the experiences in this world are also unpredictable, no matter what we plan and plot, but we never know what is going to happen tomorrow, right? And sometimes we also get into helpless experiences, right? And our mind, it is restless, and we are in ignorance. We do not know about self-knowledge, right? And we do not understand what is real and unreal, right? So these things are certain summary, you can say, so that we have to understand that this world is not a what is a favorable place to live, or this world is not a desirable place, right? So these experiences are not desirable. So we have to establish in only permanent happiness and not be excited about temporary pleasures, right? So, so this is the second point about the favorable factors are that is supporting the study of Vedanta. Then there is Mumukshutvam and Viveka that I already discussed in the start of the video. So once you have this Vairagya Bhava, naturally you want to end this cycle of birth and death, and that is Mumukshutvam. So that is that burning desire starts to come into your mind, right? And the Viveka also, like you should have some Viveka to know that this world is not an accident, but it is run by the great lords, right? So that at least that knowledge you must be having. So those are the favorable factors, or some limiting factors which are helpful in study of Vedanta, right? So that part and that section we are closing it now, right? So now further what we will look at now is why study Vedanta. So in all these videos, we have discussed so many things about Vedas, what are Vedas, what is Vedanta. Then we discussed about what are the qualities and qualifications one should know to study Vedanta. So we discussed about all these things, right? So now if we have to summarize, like why should one study Vedanta, right? So from our own sections, if you see, so I have listed these things. So this can be some of the reasons why we should study Vedanta, right? What are those reasons? So we know that Vedanta is God's instructions. So it is not coming from any, what you say, a human being or right? So we discussed that Lord sages heard these Vedas, right, in their meditation, and that's why these are God's instructions, right? So because these are God's instructions, so that can be one motivating factor to study Vedanta. So since these are God's instructions, these are sacred knowledge also. That is another factor why we should study Vedanta. Then we discuss that the knowledge of the self will help us to attain liberation or moksha, right? So this is another reason. Then it is because it is direct knowledge coming from Paramatma. So that's why, as discussed, this is direct knowledge. So that's why it's a sacred knowledge. So we have to learn this, right? That is one more reason. It is because it helps us to lead a good life or a spiritual life. So definitely, when you have knowledge of the self, right? So your decision making and how you look at this world will change drastically. So you will not be that same person, right? So you understand the temporariness of this life. You understand how this life is, right? So we discussed in Vairagya Bhava, right? So we discussed, so these things will train your mind to into the spiritual way of living. So you will understand that yogatism is not good. You will understand that money, wealth, fame, your physical body, or your childhood, your youth, these are all no desirable factors. There is nothing that is to be gained in this world. You understand, right? So you focus your attention to living a very spiritual kind of life, right? So for that life to be led also, Vedanta will help you. Is it because it helps us in understanding our existence, our nature, who we truly are? So understanding our existence also, right? That is also one reason, right? So how this existence came into being, who we are, who is God, what is the relationship of us with the God. So these things also, if you want to understand, right? So these things also we will learn in Vedanta, right? those are the reasons why we should study Vedanta. Now, what is my suggestion? So these are the things that we know from our previous sessions, that what we will why we have to study Vedanta, right? So many things that we discussed here in this slide, right? So next, what is my suggestion is, so why we have to study Vedanta is to have a spiritual fulfillment in your life, right? So we are focused mostly on material fulfillment, and the spiritual fulfillment we are not having. So when we do not have this spiritual fulfillment, right, so no matter how materially enriched you are deep within, so that that sadness and that feeling of not knowing the higher entity, right, that is always there in your mind. And these things will come when we are say getting old, or when we are stuck with diseases, right? Then we will try to understand why this is happening to me, right? So these things of questions will come, right? So instead of having to wait for that time, try to live a spiritual life, try to gain some spiritual knowledge before, only to understand how and the nature of this life is, right? So not only getting focused in material pursuits, but also have some spiritual fulfillment in your lives, to understand what is God and what is our relationship, why we have come into this world, right? So these things will help us, right? So my suggestion is to gain some spiritual fulfillment also in your life. So we have to study this. Also, the second point is, you have to understand that this is the highest goal, or most desirable goal of a human life, right? Because it is ending the sorrow once and for all, right? So it is ending the repeated cycle of birth and death, right? So it is the highest goal. So as humans, right, if we have to focus on some goal, it should be the highest goal, right? So not being born or attaining liberation is actually the highest goal of, or the most desirable goal of a human life. So that's why this is also a very good reason that we have to study Vedanta. Then the third point is, we should be considered as most privileged, right? Because the intellect to understand these things, only the capacity is with humans only. So no other animals can understand this, right? If you say, let me teach Vedanta to a squirrel or a bird, right, you cannot, right? So they do not have that intellect, they are not blessed with that intellect. So as humans, we have to consider our birth to be a blessing and also a most privileged one, and we should strive with our intellect, right, with the help of intellect, to understand this existence, right? So that's why this is also a very good reason that we have to spend our time in studying Vedanta, right, in gaining this spiritual knowledge. So, right, so these are my suggestions. So live your life a balanced life, wherein your material pursuits also are filled, and also you have a good spiritual fulfillment also. Also understand that our highest goal is to end the repeated births of cycles of birth and death, right? So this also is a good reason. Then do understand that this is a privileged knowledge. This is knowledge is privileged, and only humans have this intellect to understand this, right? So that's why we have to study Vedanta, right? So with this, I would like to end this session. So in the next upcoming sessions, let's actually start about the Vedanta, what is a knowledge. So till now we have discussed the foundation knowledge, you can say. Now we will actually look into what is this knowledge actually about. So those things we will try to discuss in our upcoming sessions. Thank you so much.